Hello, guys. This is JC Grande here. For this episode, we're going to explore how to create a 90s inspired comic book character from scratch. When I say 90s, I mean big guns, big shoulder pads, and big arms. Let's go. So, we're going to start designing this character. This is the first time that I'm uh, doing this character. I have some idea about what I want to do with this character, but some really basic ideas like he's a supporting character of my comic called Tankard. He's like a big guy, like playing in the same league as Tankard, which is a very hulking image. So I'm going to design this character because I want him to be a partner or an ally to my tanker character. So what I try to do when designing a new character is that I want to have a good silhouette for the character, a silhouette that you can recognize instantly. Like if you see Wolverine, you see his silhouette, just his shadow form, his shadow shape. You would say instantly, you would recognize him. So if you see, for example, if you see Batman, you will recognize him because of the shape of his head. So I try to apply that thing to my characters because I like to make them really interesting and unique as much as I can. And for this guy, he's going to have a big afro kind of hair, and he's a really strong dude with big arms and big guns. So when you see it in the comic, and if I draw just a silhouette, you would say, "Oh, that is that dude." So he is going to appear in the comic later, a comic that I'm working on, and I'm designing it from scratch right now. And let's see what happens. I'm just making up the story right now. He's like uh, the guy who is in charge of a space type of prison, a big a big as spaceship spacecraft that is like a prison for alien criminals and all that. So he would quit that job and join Tankard on adventures. I'm just making this up because I had no idea when I got started drawing this character, but the more that I draw it, uh, the more that some ideas come to my mind. I am not sure if I will use all of those ideas later on, or maybe I would just change some things and certain aspects. But that's what I have right now, and that's the beauty and the awesomeness of creating new characters, because you start drawing them and they tell you pretty much with their look and their appearance. They let you know some ideas about their origin, and for that it is important to really try to observe and try to learn from other media, from other from comics too, but try to feed yourself with lots of ideas, You can get some stuff from movies, from anime, from other comic books, from video games, role role playing games, anything pretty much. In my case, I'm really into 80s stuff, into those kind of uh, I'm really into those 80s types of intellectual property that were really into action, sometimes nonsensical action, but really, really fun. So all those Canon films, all those, the Bruce Willis and all the Rambos and all the uh, action-packed stories, and especially when they try to mix some sci-fi into it, like Cyborg and Universal Soldier and all that. And I know they're silly, some of them, but you cannot deny that they were fun. So I want to get some of that into my comics, at least with the tankard part of the universe that I'm trying to create. And I'm really having a lot of fun, I can tell you. And I have some other projects, so I might change some of that for other comics. But for that property that I'm trying to develop, I'm really into all those types of content. Uh, this is as I said, a big guy, big powerful dude with big arms and all that. And there's something that I try to, because I'm really into all the image era of comic books and all that, but also at the same time I'm really into the 60s and also all the Alex Toth types of character designs from the Super Friends cartoons and the Hanna-Barbera superheroes like Birdman and the Herculoids and all that. So it's like a mix of those things. So I like to give it some muscles and big weaponry, but I try to keep it simple because it is important for you to keep it simplistic. So you would not have a lot of trouble when drawing it in your comic, because if you do something very detailed and very intricate, remember that you will have to draw the character all the time into the story, and it is not that great when you have like 10 pages using that same costume with all those details and all that intricate stuff. So it's better to keep it simple, or at least a part of the character you want to keep it simplistic. And also for balance of the appearance of the costume or armor or whatever. In this case, this guy has an armor and a mask. I am still thinking about the name, but as I said, this is a supporting character for my comic. I am designing it right now in front of the camera. Okay, this is just a rough idea. When you try to get your characters, after you brainstorm your character, it is advisable to make like a character sheet where you see the character from different views, from profile view, and from the back and from the front, and different expressions, and his weapons, his types of paraphernalia that he is carrying and all that. But this is just pretty much brainstorming. So I'm just doing the first ever image of this character. So later on, if I want to use it for my story, I will do those things like the front view and the side view and what I told you about. Okay, we're going to go with some inks. There are certain areas that I have no idea how it's going to look, how it's going to end looking, but I'm going to experiment. That's the great thing about doing brainstorming straight with your art. So as I said, I have some ideas in mind. Like he's like a big hair. I love Afro hair from the 70s. I really love that look, man. So he's some great hair here, some great hair, and also for as a visual. As I said, if you look at this character and you see it like next to other characters in the comic, you will recognize this guy easily because of the shape of his head. And when I am designing characters, I use less and less shadows or shading because you want to see it clearly. Unless it is something that's really black, straight, straight black color. But the rest of the character, I try to keep it. I try to keep it, with not a lot of shadows and rendering or cross hatching. I'm just pretty much have it with line art and some colors. Some shoulder pads. Just as I said, it's a character that's inspired by the 90s, but at the same time, I'm going to try to keep it as simplistic as possible. Sometimes it is hard because you're used to how comics look nowadays with tons of different details. But let's see if we can do it. He's like having. He's an armored guy. With this the pen that I'm using is a Stedler Triplus color. It's pretty flexible. It's a marker, but it's pretty flexible, and I like it a lot, especially for doing contour lines. For doing things for shaping things up, and then the details I do it with a finer point. We have the hands here. I am not, by the way, I am not editing anything of this video. So if I commit mistakes or say something that it's kind of sounds weird or I do not pronounce well, I'm learning to draw and talk at the same time because I'm not used to that. So bear with me. Okay, but I'm learning. By the way, which is your favorite '80s action movie? I think I would say that my favorite is Die Hard. Well, that's is that in the '80s or at the 90s. I think it's 89. I also like Rambo 3. Yeah, some people do not like it, but to me it's like watching because uh it's very exaggerated, a lot of the action scenes. But I look at it as if it was a GI Joe live action thing. So I accept all the exaggeration and unrealistic types of things. I love it from the beginning. Okay, we have this part over here. We're going to move to this other one. Some finishing the big guns. This doing this type of guns that are very exaggerated and not based on reality. It's really awesome and a lot of fun because you can pretty much add whatever you want. You just have to make it believable, even though it's something exaggerated. And I'm still thinking about some new features of the story of this guy. You know, me talking about the 80s movies, action movies, and all that remind me of a story of a movie called Iron Eagle. I think I'm not sure if you remember the ones that are about my age. So maybe we can use something like that for this character. And you will see what I mean. Some cargo pants. Because my comic tanker is full of guys like this and I like it. I'm going to make this guy a good guy, a supporting character. And maybe we can give him some wings. But they're going to come out of his jetpack or something. I just made this up by thinking about that movie, the Iron Eagle movie. Okay, you can see how things can work when you are drawing your characters. Just start doing it. If you just want to write it, just start writing. And if you want to draw it like while you're brainstorming, just go for it. So this guy has some like a backpack and those steel wings that you spread whenever he needs it. And we're gonna make it. We're gonna have him a headband, like Rambo, and we're going to finish this gun over here. And this other one. the shoulder pads. You can see I'm keeping it pretty simplistic. Besides the gun, he's not very detailed, but I'm going to concentrate some of the details in the mask. So whenever you see the character, you will concentrate strictly on the mask. I mean, you will be able to see the characters moving around and all that, but the detail, your attention is going to be in the face. Okay, because you see that the face has more detail. That's going to catch your attention. We're gonna give it an iron mask. This is like he's got, you know, the strength and power of Tankard. He's so big, but he can fly. The chest, we're going to leave it like that because we have our attention to be in the face. And I'm just going to add some abs steel parts covering here. And some pouches for, you know, the image, early image connection. Okay, now we're going to add some colors. For coloring, I'm going to use some water-based markers. So we're gonna keep it as simple as we can. We're going to add some colors and keep them pretty rough because, as I said, this is just brainstorming. You can be able to refine it much more whenever you want using. You can use your Clip Studio on your iPad and whatever, or do it on paper, on a different sheet of paper, and make the different types of views of the character. Okay. All right, I'm making sure these are the right colors. We have this one over here. Okay, we're going to use this one. And we're going to get started by adding some colors to the armor. These are like some dark gray color. Remember, this is really rough. I mean, I am not looking to have all the colors in not crossing the black lines or anything. This is just for brainstorming. By the way, this is an acrylic marker, which means that this can cover all the previous color that we applied with the water-based brush markers. These are water, and these are acrylic. So waters, you cannot mix them pretty well, but this acrylics you can do. You can mix your colors. So we have this. I'm using these two types of markers. Okay, let's continue with our armor here. As I said, I wanted to keep it as simple as I can. In making things simple, it's not that easy because we are so used to make things very detailed and complicated and all that, and we forget about the beauty of making things simpler, simplistic. That's why I study the work of Alex Toth, because his designs were so essential and he kept all the important things uh, in his characters. We're going to draw this part over here. Going to use a red color. I'm just making this character up here in front of the camera. This is the first time that I draw this guy, but I will use it in my comic. We are going for the arms. I think I thought about making one of the arms like, you know, made of steel, but I forgot. I will do that later. I think acrylics are working much better with this paper that I'm using. We're going to change this color over here to make it we're going to make the wings, we're going to make red. At this stage, as I said, you don't have to make it like a really finished look if you don't want. This is just brainstorming. You can change things later on. You can change colors. Pretty much whatever you need. You can change the inking style and all that. This is just brainstorming. Just freestyle. Just throwing freestyle to see whatever comes from your mind. I had no previous design of this character. I'm just making it up here. And I'm liking it so far. I might tweak some things later, but it's looking pretty good, I think. I said he has some steel wings that spread once he wants to fly, because when he is on the ground, he's like using all his heavy machine guns. And also he has this red hairband. You know what? I'm liking it. I'm liking this dude. Okay, we're going to add some more color over here. This is what I told you about. With acrylic markers, you can go and change and mix the color with whatever you had previously. For example, we had black ink in here from the other marker, so you can actually go on top of it like this and adjust things. You cannot do this kind of stuff with these others. For this paper, also I think this works out better. And oh, we need the guns. But first, let's do the hands. No gloves, just bare hands. Do the super powerful. It doesn't need any gloves or anything. We need some more color for the guns. I think we're going to use different color. Let's use this. Let's keep this. This color. This one. And another great thing that just came to my mind is the fact that his well, he can talk to his guns and tell them to adjust its power to make them stronger or lighter. So his guns are like powered with some robot kind of thing, so he can talk to his guns, and they can talk back to him, but not like like having a conversation, but they can respond. Okay. Now we're going to add some more red color. To balance a bit more. The same here. His 90s inspired pouches. So about character designers, I really would like to recommend you Yoshitaka Amano and also Alex Toth, as I said, Go Nagai, Mobius, of course. And so many other great character designers. Look for their work. You will get inspired. And also King Kirby, of course, is such a great inspiration. Okay. Oh no, this is not the color that I'm looking for. Okay. Let's see here. As I said, the great thing about these colors is that they can mix pretty well. You can make different types of things. I wanted to give him some camouflage, but I think that would be too much. And the story of the comic is not really in planet Earth, so it's not uh, really that relevant there in other galaxies because it's not in this reality. So we're gonna keep it uh, gonna keep it like this. And also you can add to tighten the character up. You can add more black coloring and all that, black ink and all that to make it more military kind of thing. But as I said, it's not on planet Earth, so you can use camouflage and all that. But I want it to be to the story to be independent from planet Earth. And the fact that it is a green, I think it's enough because we will not want to make it look too saturated. Remember, this is just brainstorming. You can fix anything. In my case, I'm going to fix this. I'm going to add uh, metal type of arm in here to make it a bit more striking. I'm going to add maybe a symbol and stuff like that. But for today, I think this is enough brainstorming. I can tweak this design as much as I want, and I kind of like it. I kind of like this first draft of the character, and I'm thinking about a name for it. So I don't know. Do that exercise. Think about something that you like from movies or from other stories, and try to incorporate that into your design. Even though you are not using those strict ideas, but the main abstract content of a story, you can use it, and that is going to give you some really cool ideas. And I think this is the video for today. Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate you coming here and subscribe to the channel. Uh, that is helping me a lot to do more and more videos of illustration and comic book related uh, stuff. So I really appreciate you coming here. Uh, I'm going to be uploading and updating this channel daily. So thank you very much for coming. Really, from all my heart, thank you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow.